Hello my loves, welcome back. In this video, we are gonna get deep. And we're getting deep about my career transition from full-time in-office clinical practice nurse to now full-time influencer in the skincare space. And this is one of those questions that I get asked so much on Instagram, but it's such a layered, multifaceted story, and I have so many things that I really want to share with you. And this is going to be the perfect video if you're looking to make a career transition and you don't know where to start, or you want to grow your social media following, or maybe you're a nurse and you're looking for ways to tap into the skincare space or the aesthetic space. So if you're interested in any of that, this is going to be such a great video for you. Or if you just want to learn more about me, and that would be wonderful too. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But I just love long form. I love being able to connect with you, and you know, this is a story that has shaped and defined my life and how I reach you and connect with you. So if you do follow me on social media, I think this is going to be such an insightful video for you. And I want to start my journey with, you know, what inspired me to become a registered nurse. And I have a line of registered nurses in my family, my grandmother, my aunt, and I always looked up to these women. They were so compassionate and loving, and I really wanted to follow in their footsteps from the time I was a little girl. And I was always that kid who was interested in putting a band-aid on someone if they fell and scraped their knee. Like, I always wanted to see what was going on. I always wanted to help. I always wanted to be there. So that was definitely a component. Then I've been a huge lover of science and super inquisitive my whole life. So biology was always my best subject. And I knew that no matter what I did, I wanted to be in a science-based helping profession. So nursing was definitely interesting to me. I also had a very creative side. I loved to paint and draw and bead and all of the creative things from the time I was a little girl, so I kind of wanted to melt that in. But I came from a single parent household where my mom was a counselor and didn't make very much money at all, despite all of her skills. So she wanted me to be in a profession that made money. And my aunt and my grandma were super stable, and so I was always encouraged to go into nursing. So great, I decided my freshman year of college that I wanted to get into nursing school. I wanted to get into the nursing field. So I transferred to a small liberal arts school called Linfield to get into their nursing program. I got into the nursing program. I started my clinical rotations and all my nursing classes, and I really did love it. I mean, I'm an extrovert, so I love people. I loved learning about the body. I loved learning about skin. I was definitely still really suffering from acne at that point, and I was like, great, I'm gonna learn how to heal my skin and fix myself and help other people. So it was so in line and so perfect. And I had such great friends in nursing school, and really to this day, I'm so thankful for that education, because I use all of the skills that I learned in nursing school and the education about the body to this day. And I am still a registered nurse. I will always keep my license, but I don't work in the clinical setting anymore, as you know. So graduated from nursing school, it was 2011. It was a really tough market for nurses. So it was really difficult to find a job. I couldn't find a job anywhere. In nursing school, actually thought I might want to go into hospice, which is so random, but I did a clinical rotation in hospice, and I actually thought it was so beautiful, and the patient clientele was like amazing, and how you could help families and connect with them was really wonderful. I also love skincare. I didn't really know if I could get a job in dermatology or aesthetics, so I was kind of all over the place, but really I just wanted to find any job. And I actually nailed down a job in the operating room as a circulator in a surgery center, which means my job was to go into the surgery and make sure that, you know, it was the right leg, the right crew in there, that they had all the supplies they needed, that they didn't leave any supplies in the human cavity. I know it sounds crazy. So it was really meticulous, list checking, you know, not really a lot of patient contact, which I love. So it was really analytical, and it wasn't my personality. I didn't get to talk. I didn't get to connect or communicate. So I did that for about 6 months. And after I did that, I was like, okay, this is not for me. I can't work in the operating room. I need to find something else. And my first summer out of nursing school, I actually did a brief stint working as a summer camp nurse in Maine. And I absolutely loved it. I loved working with children. I loved being at camp and having that community setting. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a little break from the operating room, even though this is the most money I've ever made. It was easy. My family was so proud of me and so happy, but I was like, this isn't how I'm meant to help people and help the world. So went back to summer camp, regrouped, then came back to Portland where I was living and got a job as a nanny and a substitute school nurse. And I was just like making enough to sustain my lifestyle, but really looking for the next thing. And so I was still really suffering from my skincare issues and was like, okay, I really want to be helpful with other women in the skincare space. I want to learn more. I want to work with lasers and some of the top doctors, and I want to really learn how to heal skin. And when I was working in the operating room, the one thing that interests me was the plastic surgeons who came into the surgery center. The work they were doing with skincare patients, with Mohs surgeries, or, you know, helping people with scar revision. Like, that was super interesting to me. And as a woman, just being able to help someone with something physical, I knew there was so much emotional power behind that. So I decided I wanted to get into aesthetics or derm and really help people with their skin. So I moved to LA, and part of it was because a guy I was dating that I met on a road trip lived in LA, so it was an easy transition, but I decided to move to LA and I was gonna get a job, something skincare related. And I went on Craigslist and I found a med spa in Studio City, and they were looking for a nurse in aesthetics that was super entry level, doing laser hair removal, but with the potential to move up to other things like Botox, lasers for the skin, all different kinds of things. So I took a huge leap of faith. I applied, I got that job, I started working in aesthetics, and I loved it. It was creative, it was working with women, it was being an extrovert, which I love so much, and I truly learned so much in that job. I worked in the field of aesthetics for over 6.5, almost 7, I think, years, and you know, in that position, I felt like this was the best match for me in the nursing field. Like, there was no other nursing job that was gonna fulfill me more than that, but it still wasn't enough. I didn't feel super creatively fulfilled. I feel like I wasn't honoring my best self and where I was able to really perform, shine, and help the most people. The other thing that was really challenging in aesthetic nursing is, yes, I learned how to inject Botox and filler and do amazing laser treatments for women. Yes, I learned all about skincare ingredients, and I learned just so many things about the physiology of skin, but I truly realized over that process that just what I could do in office could not fully help someone with their skin. Couldn't help myself with my skin, couldn't help my patients who had acne, rosacea, premature aging, irritation. Like, none of that could be solved by the treatments that I was doing in office in a med spa working for a plastic surgeon. Because I was on this journey to heal my own skin, I went to a course learning how to make my own fermented foods. I started home fermenting. I started buying local organic food and creating recipes. And I was like, this is actually creating change in my skin. Like, this is something that I want to talk about. And I would be telling my patients about it in the office, and you know, our medical director would be listening in the other room and being like, Celeste, you're a great nurse. Everyone loves you here. Your patients love you. But I don't think it's completely appropriate for you to be talking about, you know, your fermented foods or all of these woo-woo Eastern remedies for skin when we have, you know, prescription skincare, we have lasers, we have all these things that I was supposed to sell. And that didn't feel in flow with me. I am an honest, open book. And if I feel called to share something, I have to do it. Like, I'm so passionate about that, and it makes me emotional, which is so crazy. Whenever I sit down with you guys, I do get really emotional because I'm so passionate about what I do now, and it's been such a journey to get here, but I'm so happy that I'm here and I get to share this with you. So I just didn't feel in line because I couldn't truly share. And I also felt like I didn't need to sell people on things. Botox and filler and lasers are such a personal decision, and I really feel like those treatments are great, but they're at the end of the rainbow of self-love, self-acceptance, self-care. Then once you've gotten to that place and you're doing all those things, then yeah, go for it. Get your lip filler like I do, get your Botox, get your laser, feel amazing, but that's not gonna fix you. That's a Band-Aid. And I wanted more for my patients and more for my friends and family. So when I was on my healing journey with food, I was like, okay, I want to find a place where I can put all of my recipes and all my tips and tricks, and then I'll just tell my patients to go look at that, and I'll tell my family to go look at that, versus explaining it to one person after the next, after the next, after the next in the office where everyone could hear me. So I did that, and in 2014, The True Spoon was born, a blog that still exists today. So if you are looking for healthy recipes and holistic practices, definitely check out The True Spoon. I will leave the link below. But I did that, and I was so called to share more, and I was getting such great feedback from my patients, friends, and family. And I realized, like, okay, there's something to this, and it feels so powerful to be able to share this message with people, and it's helping people. So I slowly, over the course of about a year, started dropping days, dropping half days, dropping shifts at my clinical practice nursing job. And it was great because it was super flexible and I could do that. And I was taking a pay cut, but I've never been someone who was driven by money. Yeah, money's great, I need it to survive, but like my passion and my calling is so much more important to me than a dollar amount. So I started dropping days, and what would I spend the other time with was creating more blog content. Then in 2015, I started an Instagram for The True Spoon, and I started sharing and posting and trying to connect with other people in the wellness space who were interested in holistic skincare. And that just brought me so much joy. I was making friendships and connections with other people, with a community, sharing things that were so important to me, sharing things that really healed and helped people. And I was also called to social media because as a nurse, I have a background in research and in physiology and anatomy and science, and I was seeing a lot of misinformation shared on social media, especially about skin and diet by people without credentials. I wanted my community to know the truth. I didn't want them to be sold a bill of goods that was wrong by someone who's just selling it because of a paycheck and not because they cared or because they believed in something. So I started being honest and sharing information about products that weren't great and products that were great, and ingredients to look out for and things that would help and wouldn't help. And really, I developed this trust with my community. And once I started to develop that trust and people knew that I wasn't, sharing a different skincare brand every other day to make a paycheck, the Instagram started to grow, and I wanted to share things that were really important and impactful to me, that helped me on my skincare journey, and it resonated with people, and it all just started to grow. If you're looking to start a social media, I think it really needs to come from a place of integrity and passion and something that you really want to share. It's those things that your friends and family look to you for and that you love sharing with them. Like, that's what you should be sharing on social media, and it will grow. The other thing is consistency. Making sure that the blog post goes up every week so people can look forward to that if that's what you're trying to grow. Or the YouTube video. I am doing this the day before it goes live because I was slacking a little bit on YouTube and okay, what should I post? What's going to resonate? And this popped into my head. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop everything. I need to film this because consistency is so important, and sharing your message is so important. And also just lifting other people up. Having that abundance mindset versus that scarcity mindset is so essential. Sharing people who inspire you, and they might share you right back. Sharing friends and family, uplifting people, it is powerful. There's always room for more people who are doing good in the world. And I just found personally that when I don't live in fear and I'm worried about someone else getting another job or someone else having a bigger community, everything flourishes. Like, I honestly, it does hurt my heart sometimes when things don't get as much attention or likes or things like that as I think they deserve, because it's a powerful message, or I really, really want people to see it so they can connect with it. But it doesn't matter. If one person got something out of it and it helped their life or impacted them, that is what it's all about. And we all need to tell ourselves this if we're working in the social media realm or want to, but it's not about the numbers. It really isn't. It's about the connection and it's about the impact. So find whatever that is for you and just lean into it. And if you're passionate about it, it won't feel like work. It's still fun. We're talking about Instagram. We're talking about connecting with other people about something that we're passionate about. Like, it should feel good. And for me, it felt so good. It felt powerful. It felt, intoxicating in the best way. So I think I was working 2 days a week as a nurse, sitting there peddling my blog with the lasers, but trying to help as many women as I could. And it was incredible. And I was like, okay, I need to take a big leap and really do this. And I can't even tell you how scared I was. Scared because of the uncertainty of a new career path. Scared about the uncertainty of family that were so proud of me for doing something that, in my lineage, my aunt, my grandma did. It was such a secure, wonderful job for me that would give me a paycheck to be able to support myself as a woman for the rest of my life, that I had, not notoriety, but when you're a nurse in a clinical setting, like, people think you're an angel. They think that you are kind and compassionate, which you are. Anyone out there who's a nurse who's watching this, thank you. Thank you for all that you do, because it is such an important role and such an important job, and you are saving lives. You are saving people's life physically, you are their emotional support, and it is a difficult job. And it was really difficult for me, and it was difficult for me to step away from that persona and know who I was without being a nurse, and let myself free fall into this passion project with no security. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I am so much happier now that I've released those expectations from other people, and I'm living my truth, and my goal is to help as many women as possible with their skin so they don't have to suffer like I did when I was at the depths of my insecurity with my acne. So I had to make that leap, and I knew I did, and I made the leap. I saved as much money as I could, and what I did was I took a job as a social media manager for another brand in the wellness space, which allowed me to still have a little bit of an income where I could pay my bills and have a more flexible schedule so I could work on my own content and my own photography and really make sure that I was hitting those consistency markers, while also not having the constraints of a 9-to-5 where I couldn't do any work that I wanted to do. So I did that, and I worked for Four Sigmatic. I absolutely had a great experience. I learned so much about the brand side. I learned what it's like to hire influencers, what makes an influencer easy to work with, what makes an easy influencer difficult to work with, what expectations are of startup companies. I learned so much. And if you want to start a social media company or your own brand, if you can work for another brand in this sphere, in this similar space, I 100% recommend it, because it's such a great way to learn. It was like I got my master's in business. I'm sure it was a lot more difficult to actually get your master's in, business administration or something like that. But for me, it was exactly what I needed to understand the business side of social media a lot better. And once I did that, I realized that, okay, this is great, but I was growing. This was great, but my own social media was growing. I needed to invest more time, more energy into what I was doing because I was getting a monetary return. I was using affiliate links on brands and products that I really loved. People were resonating with it, they were buying it. I started creating ebooks based on frequently asked questions on the blog and on my Instagram. And then I started doing brand partnership deals, which were the most lucrative of all. And it's so crazy because I see so many influencers doing branded deals, and when your whole career is to show up every day for our community, you need to make money. We have to live and support ourselves. And that's wonderful. I mean, it's why we have all the amazing influencers that we love to follow. And I highly encourage, if you're watching this, go and like sponsored content from the people that you love to watch, because that's the only way they can be there for you. But I will say that a lot of people just take these brand deals without doing the research. They just say yes to these things, and they don't even realize what they're sharing with their community. And I am not that person. I probably accept and take less than a quarter of brand partnerships and opportunities I'm given, because I am so meticulous and so picky about ingredients that are beneficial for skin, ingredients that are eat to glow, products that are not only high quality and beneficial, but that are better than what else I've tried on the market and what other things are commonly used. So it's such a small percentage of brands that I work with and that I will promote to you loves, because I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your money or your time. And I do see a lot of influencers in the space just posting willy-nilly about skincare with super toxic ingredients, or, you know, snacks that have crazy refined sugars that are not good for you. And it just makes me scratch my head, but also makes me want to share this message and let you guys know that when you come to me, you can trust everything that I promote to you. And it also makes me, want to talk about it, because if you want to get into the space, I want you to be the person that other people can look towards and they trust you, because that trust is going to make you so much more successful in the long run. All that money that you say no to is going to help you grow and find your path and be way more successful in the future. Like, personally right now, I'm not making as much as I was as a nurse. And I know that's going to change because I am on a trajectory of growth. But the reason why that is, it's not because I couldn't. I could be making 3 times as much as I did when I was a nurse. But I'm not, because I am being so meticulous about who I work with. Most of the brand deals that I get are because I reached out to a niche small company that I believe in and I want to support and I want to see them grow. And the paychecks aren't there the same way that they are for Crest white strips. And that's okay, because like I said before, it's not about the immediate gratification of the money, it's about the long-term play. And if you want to get into this game, it's about the brand that you're creating and the value you're providing to your audience and the long-term game. Now my long-term game is co-branded products in my own product line someday, and keeping up with the downloadables and just being there, showing up for you loves every day. Social media, YouTube now, which has been such a beautiful place to share and connect and educate. I can't even tell you how much YouTube has really changed my life, because now I have a platform to be able to connect and let you see the real me, and to talk about all the things that are on my heart and on my mind and that are really, really important, especially if you're struggling with your skin or your self-confidence or unsure about what you're doing in your career trajectory, all these things. And you can give me immediate feedback, and I can make new, detailed, in-depth, heartfelt videos that are 30 minutes long about whatever it is we need to talk about. And it really is so beautiful. And I want to close this video with 2 things. The first thing is, you can do literally anything in this life you put your mind to, and you put your energy in, and you put your passion in, and don't worry what other people think about what you're doing, because you will never make anyone else happy, and your mission in your life is to make yourself happy and live in your purpose and your passion, and to help people where you shine. When you are living in your flow and you are shining and you are tapped into your potential, you can change the world. And I know it's hard, especially if you're in your early 20s, mid 20s. It's hard to think about that, and it's hard to just be confident in knowing where your passion lies, and sometimes it takes a while to figure out, and that's okay. But trust that little voice inside you. Trust your intuition, because it might take you 5 years to figure it out, but your intuition will guide you the entire way, and you will get to that point where you are so happy in your life. And I personally feel so blessed to be able to share what I share with you and connect with you, and I really feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives, and that just is so powerful for me, and I'm so incredibly grateful. And every time I sit down for these long chats, I always cry, but it really is so beautiful, and I'm so thankful for you. And secondly, I just want to say that I'm always here if you ever have a question, if you're struggling with something with your career or your skin. I mean, with your career, I might not always have the answers, but if you're struggling with your skin and you are having issues with your self-confidence because of your skin, and you have acne and you have rosacea and you have irritation or whatever it is that's plaguing you, like, I want you to reach out to me, and I want you to feel like I'm a resource to you. I also want you to know that the Skin Confident course is a resource for you. It has every single actionable step that helped me become skin confident and clear my acne in one place. And I created it because I want to be of service to you. I put everything in one place. I spent months working on it because I know how challenging it can be to troubleshoot your skin and to have skin that you're proud to walk around makeup free. And you should be proud to walk around makeup free in whatever skin you're living in, because you are beautiful. But I know how it feels when you're not, and I wanted to create something that would allow you to be. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions about it. But really, that was my sole purpose, putting everything into one place for you. So I'm gonna leave the link down below, and I'm gonna leave you a special subscriber discount too if you wanna check it out. But seriously, my loves, like, you know, this is a very emotional chat, but you are in control. You have the power to heal your skin, to change your life, to change your career, to do what you want to do. And when you're in that flow, nothing is better. There will always be challenges, but there'll be challenges you want to work on and goals that you want to work towards, and you won't feel that energy, that fight. And it's gonna be beautiful. So I'm so excited for you and your journey in all things social media, career, skin, and I just wanted to let you know, just like always, that I love you and I'm so happy that you're here. And if you made it to the end of this, I would love for you to like and subscribe, because it helps other people see this video, and maybe they need to see it, and maybe they need some of the tips I'm sharing today, and you can help them on their journey. So that's why we do it. But I love you. I will see you next week on Tuesday. I will have a wonderful, fun, new, a little more lighthearted video for you. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Okay. Mwah.